So, there once was a hobbit named Bilbo Baggins. A hobbit is a small creature with furry feet. Hobbits like to live normal lives without any adventures. One day, Bilbo was visited by Gandalf the Grey, who is a wizard. Gandalf asked Bilbo to go on an adventure, but Bilbo said no thank you. At night, however, Bilbo was visited by dwarves, 13 of them, and Gandalf again. One of the dwarves is named Thorin. Thorin and the dwarves sing a song that goes like this. Far over the misty mountains gold. The song tells about how a long time ago, Thorin's relatives used to live in the lonely mountain with lots and lots of gold. One day, a dragon named Smaug came and ate many dwarves and scared the rest away, leaving the gold to Smaug. Now the dwarves and Gandalf want Bilbo to help them go get their gold back. Bilbo eventually says yes to joining the party. Along the way, Bilbo and the dwarves are kidnapped by 3 trolls. They are all stuffed into sacks. With help from Bilbo, the trolls cannot decide how they should cook them. Eventually, the sun comes out and turns the trolls to stone. The party arrives in an elf town called Rivendell. At Rivendell, an elf named Elrond helps them read a map of the Lonely Mountain. The party heads out to the Misty Mountains, and while hiking through the Misty Mountains, they get kidnapped by goblins. But they get away. When running away, Bilbo falls and gets lost. He finds a ring which belonged to this weird creature named Gollum. Gollum and Bilbo tell riddles to each other for a while, but then Gollum tries to eat Bilbo. Bilbo realizes when he puts on the ring, he becomes invisible, and so Gollum doesn't find him. When Bilbo finds the rest of the party, they are chased by a bunch of wargs, which are basically big, scary wolves who team up with the goblins. The party is forced to hide up in a bunch of trees. Eventually, these big eagles come and carry them to safety. The party goes to visit this big, scary guy named Bjorn, who can turn into an even bigger and scarier bear. Bjorn tells the rest of the party to go through Mirkwood Forest, but to make sure they don't get lost. Gandalf has another adventure to go on, so he leaves for a while. The party goes through Mirkwood, and sure enough, they get lost. The dwarves all get captured by these giant spiders, but Bilbo puts on his magic ring and saves them. But then the dwarves get captured by these elves who live in Mirkwood. So yet again, Bilbo puts on his magic ring and saves them. The party arrives at Lake Town, which is really close to the Lonely Mountain, where they hang out with a bunch of humans. The party then goes to the mountain. Bilbo uses his ring to sneak into the mountain and finds Smaug sleeping on gold and steals something. Bilbo then talks to Smaug for a while. Oh yeah, Smaug can talk. When Smaug realizes that something is stolen, he goes and attacks Lake Town. But this guy named Bard shoots Smaug with an arrow and Smaug dies. Then, the elves from Mirkwood come to Lake Town and team up with the men. They all decide to head to the mountain and get their share of the gold. Thorin wants backup, so he sends for his cousin Dain and a bunch of other dwarves to come. Dain and the other dwarves show up, and so does an army of goblins and wargs. The elves, men, and dwarves, with the help of Bjorn, remember that bear guy, defeat the goblins and the wargs in the Battle of the 5 Armies. Thorin and a couple of his dwarves die in the battle, so Dain becomes king of the mountain. Bilbo then leaves with Gandalf and Bjorn. Bilbo eventually returns home with Gandalf, some treasure, and his ring. The end.